I'm Sheila Gilvey. Welcome to Travel Talk with Sheila and Friends, the best of Season 1, where friends, family, and community members take us on unforgettable journeys across 5 continents. We started with Ryan Temple, joined by his mom, Dr. Cynthia Reynolds Temple, sharing his study abroad experience in Berlin. Then, Jean Bell shared her memorable ski vacations with Black Ski Incorporated. Next, Alyssa Moore took us to McAllen, Texas on a unique mini-master journey of learning at the U.S.-Mexico border. Then Realtor Carrie Brown reflected on her powerful journey to Ghana. Karen Lawson shared her cultural trip to Cuba with busboy and poets. Patricia Wheeler inspired us with her solo travels to Peru, Scotland, and Ireland. Reverend Barbara Morton opened our eyes to the spiritual beauty of Indonesia. And Cheryl Prejean Grow wrapped it all up with her love for cruising and charitable giving. Let's take a look back at some of my favorite moments from Season 1. We begin in Europe, where Dr. Cynthia Reynolds Temple and her son Ryan shared what it was like for Ryan to study abroad in Berlin. Cindy, how'd you feel with him going off to Germany to study?
Wow, I was really proud. I was very happy that he was feeling comfortable enough to go and navigate a new country without his family being there. And I was just so glad that we were able to take off from work. So my husband and his brother, we all of us took a trip for 10 days to go visit him. He had been there for maybe 2-3 weeks, and we came over so we had an idea of where things were and how to live the neighborhood and everything. So it was really interesting to be able to go to Germany. And for me, I broke my shoulder like a couple weeks before, and I wasn't sure if I was even going to go. So I wasn't as active as I had wanted to be, but I definitely was glad that I was able to get on the plane and navigate. We took only public transportation. I don't think we took a cab or a car. We were all on the train, seeing all the city. And we even took the high-speed train to Hamburg for a day. And I did a boat tour there and some other tours and went around the city. It was absolutely amazing. So I was just such a proud mother that my son is just being all independent and grown up. And we got a chance to vacation with him.
What advice do you have for younger students, like high school students that are just now deciding on the college, deciding on their career path or their academic path? What advice do you have to them with respect to international studies?
Definitely, if you're definitely going into international studies or any international field, studying abroad, I feel, is a must. It definitely to step outside your comfort zone and go see what's abroad, go see what you're studying, seeing what it's all about. I definitely feel like even if you've never been out the country like myself and you're not sure about studying abroad, you should definitely do it. It's a life-changing experience, definitely once in a lifetime experience. Because it's not that easy for Americans to just casually get up and go on a plane and go across the ocean. Being able to have the opportunity, I'm very lucky to be able to have that opportunity. And I feel like if others are granted that opportunity, they should take it.
Next was Jean Bell, a member of Black Ski Incorporated, one of the largest African American ski organizations in the world. Well, I know this is a podcast, but there is a video version, and we are scrolling now the ad that you had from the 50th anniversary journal for Black Ski. And I tell you, it looks amazing. All of the different locations that you've gone to.
It's a documentation of the joy that I've had with the people that I ski with, because skiing is about people. And Black Ski had certain mottos like leaving no one behind. Mm-hmm. If you skied a little slower, somebody always stayed with you. Mm. They didn't say, oh, go over there to the green trail and we'll catch you at the lodge. No, someone always stayed with you. And it may have been just a group because they all were concerned about you and wanted to see how you made out. But you learn that kind of ethic as you ski.
Wow.
And it was fun, because people came from, we organized trips through the National Brotherhood of Skiers, which covered all the Black ski clubs in the United States. Okay. And I can tell you that back in the 1990s, showing up at Vail with 5,000 people 5,000 skiers, and we could actually ski. You should have seen the other people on the mountain.
Oh, wow.
Eyes
I can
wide
only imagine.
open, and where are you from? Well, you all can ski? Oh, yes, we can all ski.
Great.
And the 50th anniversary of the ski club was just a wonderful opportunity for me to think back, pull together some photos, and let the ski club know how I felt about my years with them. Certainly it wasn't 50,
Yeah.
but my years with the club and all that they had offered. Thank the volunteers for all of the work that they had done.
Well, I tell you, it's a beautiful ad, a beautiful tribute. And for those that are listening but cannot see this ad, I'd like to share just one passage, if you don't mind.
Oh, certainly.
Okay, so I'm looking at the anniversary journal from our guest, Eugene Bell, congratulating Black Ski Incorporated. But this one passage I love because it almost sums it up. It says, celebrating the fun we had while reaching the mountains by any means necessary, by car to Liberty, by bus to Seven Springs, by train to Jay Peak, and by jet globally to mountains from the Sierra Nevadas to the Rockies, the Japan Alps to the Swiss Alps and beyond. You've done it all.
Black Ski did it all.
Alyssa Moore, a high school student at Sidwell Friends School, shared her mini-semester trip to McAllen, Texas. Tell me this. I know about some of what you've been doing as a part of your school. Tell us about one of your most memorable trips this year and what you did.
We went, me and 14 other kids, we went down to Texas, McAllen, Texas, which is right next to the border. And we went and learned about like immigration and the border, and we got to work with some of the kids who had just crossed into America from places like South America or Haiti, and that was really cool.
Oh, that's an amazing experience. So does your class or does the school send students every year to different locations?
Yeah, we have a thing called mini-semester right before spring break where pretty much everyone in our grade and a few people from the grade below go to different places like in America. And for me and a few of my friends, we went down to Texas.
Okay. Alyssa, so proud of you. I mean, you're giving back at such a young age. Then Karen Lawson, former executive officer for the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights and Leadership Conference Education Fund, shared her fascinating trip to Cuba.
My most recent trip was to Cuba in January. It was not a trip I had on my bucket list or I was planning, but Bus Boys and Poets organized this cultural trip. We were able to go because we were bringing support for the Cuban people. We brought school supplies and, you know, common medicines, over-the-counter medicines and toiletries and so forth. And it was a fascinating trip. I had also just finished reading a book, Cuba and American History, which was fascinating. I did not know before reading the book about the connection between Cuba and the U.S. going back centuries. It really was fascinating. And also learned a lot about the whole racial situation in Cuba and so forth, again, which I knew very little about. So it was a fascinating trip. I got to see the culture of Cuba, how important the arts are to Cubans.
One of my favorite storytellers, Pat Wheeler, a former professor at Morgan State University, took us on her solo trips through Peru, Scotland, and Ireland. Where are we now? What are we talking about today?
Well, I thought, and I just thought about it because I was going to talk about Ireland and Scotland, and then I added Peru. And the reason those 3 trips, because I traveled by myself. A lot of people are scared to travel by themselves, but after I did Greece, which I did by myself to honor my mother, I said, you know what, I'm not scared to travel by myself. So these are the other 3 trips that I took. What made it so interesting, I met a lot of people, and we went up to Machu Picchu, which is one of the places that was on my bucket list. I always wanted to see that. It was discovered in the early 1900s by National Geographic Explorer, and since then it's like a pilgrimage site. The Incas built this way up in the mountains. And in fact, you can get airsick when you go up there. In the hotels in Cusco, they actually have oxygen because you're so high up. And trust me, air sickness, altitude sickness definitely impacted me. But it was just so beautiful. In fact, though, I met a lot of people. I met a young lady who had been teaching in Lima, and she actually, we were talking, we were in this monastery, and I was talking to her, and she's talking to me, and all of a sudden she was on the ground. She fainted because of the high altitude. Oh. And everybody was like, so I fixed that. The next time I traveled, I found out they have pills for that.
Okay,
and
I was going to ask you.
Yeah, I didn't have them then, but now when I go to a place, like I went to Switzerland several years ago, I had those pills and I had no trouble. But Peru was very mystical and magical. In Scotland, I don't drink, I'm a light liquor person, but I drank the best Scottish whiskey in the world. I went up to the bartender and I said, I want your best Scotch whiskey. And I don't remember what he said, but he said we have one aged 18 years, 15 years, and 12 years. So the price goes up. So I said, give me one in the middle. Yeah. So I had some Scotch whiskey that was aged 15 years. That was some of the best Scotch I've ever had. And plus in Ireland, I drank a lot of Jameson's, which is Scotch whiskey. Okay. So I didn't go for the food, I went for the liquor. I was enjoying drinking my liquor.
Oh, my goodness.
I really enjoyed that part of it.
Sounds like it was a fun trip.
Yeah. The people in both countries were so very friendly.
Then we journeyed to Ghana with Carrie Brown as she shared her emotional visit to the historic dungeons.
One day, we were told to wear all white. Mm-hmm. So we were going to the Slave River. And the Slave River is where the slaves go and take their last bath before being led down to be auctioned off or branded. Mm-hmm. And then we toured dungeons. After that, we toured some of the slave dungeons. Mm-hmm. The men had a dungeon and the ladies had a dungeon. But when we were in the men's dungeon, if you can imagine, it's this dark place. And you had all these men. They ate there, they slept there, they got sick there. And if you looked on the wall, there were scratches. And our tour guide said there were scratches from them at night because there was no light and there was like a little portal where light came in, but no electricity. But the thing that really got me with that was on top of the dungeons, this is a Catholic church, and they were holding services.
Wow, yeah. Two lives, two separate cultures in one right there. Yeah. That's amazing.
It was amazing. But it was a very humbling experience. One day we had finished a drumming session, and we were going to lunch. So there were, like I said, 26 of us, and plus our tour guides and all. So we stopped at this restaurant, and they brought out these humongous trays of food. I mean, and you had chicken, you had fish, you had pizza, you name it, it was on these trays. And so 26 of us could not eat all of that they brought out. So when we finished, there was so much left. And so somebody said, let's see if we can take it to one of the villages. So the restaurant gave us to-go containers. And we packed all this food up. And we got back on our bus, and the driver went to one of the villages. And he stopped, and there were so many people out there. And when the bus stopped, our tour guide opened the door and got off with some of the bags of food that we had. And I wish you could have seen them running to the bus. They had no idea what was in those bags. But when they got them and they opened them, some of them just started taking food and just, oh my God, it was so, and you even saw the little ones.
It was heartwarming though, that you could do something
really
like that and make a difference.
Absolutely.
Reverend Barbara Morton talks about the beauty and spirituality of Indonesia. Tell us about some of your travel experiences. I know that you traveled a lot in the U.S., but also abroad.
I've been to just about every state in the U.S., from California, except for the Dakotas. I haven't been there yet.
Okay.
But abroad, I guess my most favorite and memorable trip is my trip to Indonesia.
Okay.
And I did that during my last year of seminary. We were all required to do a mission immersion. Okay. I had the choice of going to New Jersey versus going to New York versus going to D.C. But I was younger and adventuresome, so I wanted Indonesia because I wanted something different.
Okay.
And I knew it was different.
With Indonesia, what was so different about it? What did you learn while you were there?
First of all, Indonesia is now called the Republic of Indonesia,
okay,
and it is 87% plus Muslim, which is different from living in what we call a Christian country versus a Muslim country.
Okay.
The culture is different. From the food you eat, from the way you eat your food, and all of the family customs that surround it. So we went to West Sumatra by way of Singapore. The beauty of Indonesia is the rice paddies, the architecture. You just would not believe how the water flows and how it goes in. It's just the beauty of the land.
And finally, we close with Cheryl Prejean Grow, who shares her love for cruising, especially the Tom Joyner cruise where fun meets philanthropy.
I've had a very fun travel life. I'll be traveling. I will have a cruise booked when I roll out.
Well, I know you love to cruise. Tell us about some of the various cruises you've gone to besides Bermuda. We had a great cruise to Bermuda,
we had a great time. Well, the cruises that I most love are the Tom Joyner cruises.
Okay.
I've been doing that for the last 14 years. Every year, he's been doing it for 20 years. I was thinking about some of the talent that we have on the Tom Joyner cruise. We've had Maze, Babyface goes, Stevie Wonder, Uncle Charlie, Boys to Men, I mean, you name it, Gladys Knight, Diana Ross.
Wow.
He does that because the tickets are very expensive. My balcony cabins that I always get are twice as much on the Tom Joyner cruise because half of what we do is for the HBCUs.
You do it for the greater good.
Oh, absolutely.
For as long as I've known you, you've been a huge supporter of scholarships, particularly those that benefit African-American boys or African-American males.
Oh, you know my slant towards me?
Yes, I do.
Even when I worked, as a matter of fact, I met somebody at Excel this week, and she said, "Are you still helping brothers?" I said, "Absolutely," because I was married to a brother, I know they have more trouble than we do. And so, and that's why I help my nephews. I've educated them both at American University.
Well, Cheryl, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us for the cruise to Bermuda. Thank you for being here, spending your afternoon traveling over here to the studio.
I enjoyed it.
To talk about your travel experiences. You know I love it when we get together. You know that, girl. What a season. These stories remind us that travel is time well spent, inspiring, insightful, and enjoyable. We typically end each episode of Travel Talk with Sheila and Friends with Travel Talk tips for students and young adults, focusing on top-rated international degree programs and study and work abroad opportunities that could lead students and young adults to a lifetime of travel. To end Season 1, we've dedicated an entire episode to international degree programs and study and work abroad tips for students and young adults. Check out Episode 9 for the Season 1 collection of Travel Talk tips. We've also launched a new Travel Talk with Sheila and Friends blog that delves deeper into conversations on international degree programs and study and work abroad opportunities. Visit Montgomery Community Media's website for new blog posts on the 1st and the 15th of each month. You can catch full episodes of Travel Talk with Sheila and Friends podcast on cable channel 19 every Thursday at 6 p.m. or 24/7 on YouTube at SGO Travel Talk. Don't forget to watch, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for tuning into this special Best of Travel Talk with Sheila and Friends Season 1. Stay tuned for Season 2 coming in January 2026. Travel Talk with Sheila and Friends will kick off the new year with guests discussing luxury vacations, celebrations and birthdays at sea, top 2026 bucket list destinations, and more. We are at the end of this episode of Travel Talk with Sheila and Friends. If you missed an episode, catch up on demand at mymcmedia.org. A big thank you to our wonderful guests and incredible production team. But most of all, thank you for tuning in and being part of this journey. You can join the conversation and share your travel experiences by emailing us at sgotraveltalk@gmail.com. Until next time, goodbye, adios, ciao, and bon voyage.